Quick note here, we were very excited to have Joe and Rachel on the podcast, big fans of theirs, and they were just as kind and sweet as we could hope. So much so, in fact, that they rolled right along with a number of technical issues we had. Just want to let you know that most of them do get cleared up halfway through. The second half is much more visually appealing than the first half. You'll see what I mean. Take it away, Cam. Hello and welcome to Open Pike Night, the Strange New Worlds podcast where we get behind the makeup to find out how your favorite characters came to life. I'm your host, Cameron Harrison, and with me is my co-host, the man who always does what the women in his life tell him, John T. Volds.
Hey, when their hands get lit on fire and they don't even flinch, I gotta respect it, man.
That's right.
Well, yeah.
Now, when our other host, Jesse, learned who we'd be talking to today, he ran around his room screaming and waving his arms, smashing into a wall and rendering himself unconscious. So it'll just be John and I talking here today. A couple of Orion pirates who won't let a good opportunity go to waste. Amongst their lengthy acting achievements, they can now add stealing the Enterprise, torturing a puppet, shooting a red shirt, shooting Spock, and cutting Carol Kane in half. It's Rachel Harris and Joe Truglio.
Yeah.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us.
For having
us. It
us.
is amazing to have you both.
I'm very happy to be here because I've always wanted to be on a show like this. This is not something that I've done before, and it's iconic, and it was a thrill to really be part of such an incredible canon.
Did you have a history with Star Trek?
I was, I'd seen the movies. I wouldn't say I was a fan. I had seen the show, but I definitely wasn't a Trekkie. And when I was asked to do the show, I was thrilled because as I said, I always wanted to be part of an incredible, iconic franchise. And then when I did the show, I immediately binged all the episodes of Strange New World and absolutely loved it. And I am now a Trekkie because it's just such it's an incredible piece of history, television history, to be part of.
Mm-hmm. And Rachel, you've been part of that history in the past, actually.
I have. I was so excited that we got asked to do it. And because in the beginning they said they've offered this other role to Joe Truglio, and I was like, oh, this is great because we've worked together before. So happy about that. But then, yes, in the beginning, I didn't want to tell them that I had been on Voyager because I was like, I really want to do this job. It sounds amazing. And then I just said, but by the way, I need to tell you guys that I am Martis's mom on Star Trek Voyager, and I gave baby out my back, carried the baby on my back like a backpack, and then I used a birthing bar and I shit the baby out.
Love Star Trek.
But I didn't really. But it was one of these great moments that even back then, it was exciting because I was in El Campo in that episode, and I had cool ears. But this one was next level. So it was an honor and a privilege to get to come back.
How did you get the gig? Was it an audition? Were you called for it? What are the steps to getting to play Orion pirates on Strange New Worlds?
I was very surprised to have gotten an offer for the role because I usually don't field those. So I was not only excited to be on the show, but to reach another kind of, stepping stone in the career to have an offer for the role. It turns out, I think Henry was a fan of a lot of the projects that I'd been part of, including The State, which was a MTV show back in the 90s, sketch comedy show for younger listeners out there. And so I was, I was super excited. I honestly kind of couldn't believe it. I was like, wait, what? Really? Yeah. And I had asked, do I get to wear some prosthetics or something? Because I was excited about it. I love stuff like that. I'm a big horror fan. I love that stuff. And they're like, well, not prosthetics, but you're not going to be, you're going to be a different color. And I said, yeah. So let's do it. So that's how it felt. That's how I came upon the role. Rachel, how about you?
Yeah, my story is very similar. But this is the thing, they didn't tell. They said you're green, but they couldn't divulge the Muppet aspects of it.
Hmm.
They didn't tell me right away.
Oh,
It
oh
and
yeah. I don't
they
think they
said
told me either.
we can't give you a script. They're like, you can't have a script, and I was like, well, I'm green. How much am I green? Like, how much of the script am I in? Like I was like, it's a lot to like. I was like, is it just my face that's green now? And so, to make a very, very long story short, once they came back and they said, you have to sign this NDA before we tell you this. And I said, okay. And they said, it's the Jim Henson puppets. And I was like, okay, great. But I didn't even realize that it was just going to be me, Joe, and Ethan
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, me neither.
acting. I didn't get it. And then I was like, and then I think Joe and I were like, holy shit, together. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
this is going to be amazing.
Yeah,
It's
it
amazing.
truly, that's exactly right. It was, in fact, when they finally did send the script, I guess it had a secret title. I think the title of the script that I got was called Lily and Isaac.
Yeah.
Sure.
And
Interesting.
I was like, "What? Did you guys send me the right?" They're like, "Yep." I'm like, "Okay." Wink, wink. I got you. I see what we're doing here. This is exciting. Nobody knows. All the signs are going to say Lily and Isaac, but we're going to be shooting Star Trek. I found out about the Muppets, and I was over the moon. I was lucky enough to have worked with the Muppets once before.
Mm-hmm.
And I did an episode of a Disney show called Muppets Mayhem. And that was which was maybe a couple years ago. And that was a very emotional experience because met the Puppeteers. The Puppeteers on Star Trek here were also amazing. And Muppets Mayhem met, Dr. T. I think his name was John and Dr. Teeth. And what's funny is like during rehearsal, he's doing his voice like, "Hey Joe, glad you're on set," And I'm suddenly 8 years old,
Yeah.
and I'm looking at the puppet talking, even though John is right next to him. It's amazing how quickly you get sucked into the suspension of disbelief. And I found that to be the same case on set of Star Trek. Like as soon as we started working and started doing the blocking, talking to the puppets was just like I was just another character. It was really, really exciting.
Yeah.
So once you found out it was puppets, you probably had an idea of what to expect. Did the reality match that idea, or were there any big surprises once you started getting into it?
No, I don't think
There
I don't
weren't a
think there
lo-
was really.
No. Go-
I think Joe would agree with this that it's very. You kind of immediately respect the artists.
Mm-hmm.
They're incredible
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, they really are.
100% committed. And what was crazy is that they knew the lines better than I did. I can't speak for Joe, but they're handling 18 different things. It's like they're juggling and just spitting out in and a lot of times they were acting the same, if there's an actor that has a British accent that speaks with the British, they were doing that in like as they were doing even though they weren't voicing the puppets, like they had to come in and ADR all of their voices.
Right.
But it was really like, I think Jordan, who was our director, and she had already worked with puppets before.
I think she did Fraggle Rock.
Yeah.
She did.
That whole thing was dreamy too.
She was wonderful because she, firstly, she's so calm and created such a great environment where, there was a lot to shoot, and you're working with these Muppets, and there's a lot to absorb. And Jordan just was such a pro, kept a really kind of light but professional atmosphere on the set. Is just a funny person as well. Like she's terrific at comedy. And it was really unique to have just Jordan, Rachel, Ethan, and I to work together because I don't know, there was just a different energy to that. And it was really nice to have Jordan be able to really shepherd us through this very unique situation.
Yeah, Jordan talked a lot about just how technical the puppet side of things are. Like, right, you've got to have the camera at a very specific spot. They can only move a certain amount. On your end, working with the puppets, did you have to think in more technical terms, or was it kind of the same process as working with a human and co-star?
Well, yeah, no, I think working with those guys, it was fun to work out. We had a lot of physical beats with them. You know, when I like, for example, when I cut Carol Kane in half, the sword play, and it was technical, but it was also really fun, and everything did have to be much more choreographed. Simple things that you wouldn't have to choreograph when it was a live action person, right? But but even that was hilarious and fun, and again, to just, you know, basically agreeing so much with Joe as far as Jordan goes. She was like a ninja, you know, just as far as how to set it up, what angle it should be, and but also very connected to making it make sense for us as actors, like knowing that we're not used to working with puppets. So
Nice.
yeah.
One of the challenges I had was that you couldn't get any green makeup on the Muppets. It was very, very important to. Now, the makeup department was amazing. I think I worked with Kyle. They had kind of a spray that really prevented that, but there was like a cognitive disconnect between my brain and actually taking my green hand and grabbing the Muppet, and not believing that it wouldn't come off. It just didn't make, but it didn't. And in one of the scenes, I'm actually kind of like shoving a Muppet up, I throw her into the bar area, and I'm really kind of manhandling the Muppet. And I, wanted to get that vibe that I was, but trying to be delicate at the same time. So that was probably the biggest challenge in that scene was just making sure I didn't tear or ruin or smudge the puppet. Don't smudge the puppet. That was the Muppet. The Muppet. I keep saying Muppet.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say that there's a scene where Pike comes right at my face, and I think you guys may have seen this, where he comes right at my face, and I have to grab him and then throw him. And yes, I had to be aware of the makeup getting on him, but then also Jordan, who's also a Muppet artist. I'm just going to say that because I don't know what the term is, but
let's use that.
Okay, he's a Muppet artist, and he was very kind with Joe and I. But they were filming stuff too for their archives, just for them to remember. And they sent me the worst picture in my life. And since we can swear, I think I can share this picture with you. But and you guys can't even see me in Wi-Fi, can you? But I catch Pike right here. His legs are between, and I'm holding him right here. And they freeze frame, that's gone all toward that whole community. And they think it's hilarious. And my mouth is wide open. And it's his D is right. It's no puppet D. Is right in my mouth.
That's in the deleted scenes. That's bonus Blu-ray material.
That's in the deleted scenes.
There we go.
So they did make a porno episode this season. Okay.
Yeah. It shows you how mischievous those guys are. Like how funny I can only imagine what they've done with those puppets.
You can only work with your hand up someone's body
for so long.
Right.
So long. Before.
And we can cut this out if it's going to cancel me. So,
So had they already been filming by the time you got there? Was Ethan able to give you guys some tips on shooting on the Enterprise with Muppets, or did you all start at about the same time?
They had been shooting. I think they had been shooting, from my memory of it. And I met Ethan I met the whole cast at the table read. And it was really wonderful because you got an immediate sense of why the show was so good. And the chemistry at the table read was terrific. And to me, reminiscent of Brooklyn, in that the ensemble was already so Brooklyn Nine-Nine, in that the ensemble was already so tight, and they had kind of a shorthand, and the vibe was very healthy. It just had a really a feeling like they were there to do a show and be professional, but really enjoy the work. And that was the vibe that I got on set with Ethan as well, who I'll just say is a terrific person and a great actor, and was a pleasure to work with all around and be on set for a long time with. And he was so sweet because he told Rachel and I several times, he's like, you guys are really funny, but I can't react because I'm stuck and I have to just be logical. And he was just so thoughtful to let us know that, because, you know, as guest actors, you come into a show that the machine's working, the gears are rolling, people know each other very well, crew and cast, and it can be not off-putting, but just a little isolating. And he was terrific, and it really made Rachel and I feel very, very welcome. As did Jordan, as is Henry, you know, Woody, the AD, the whole crew was really welcoming, and that was very helpful.
You were talking about the makeup, Joe. I did notice you were eating in one scene, and like the film nerd part of my brain is like, that's a lot of makeup on his hand. Is he actually eating nuts right then, or like, I presume?
Oh, yeah, no, I was. I was. I asked a prop person. I'm like, is there any type of food I can eat, and preferably I want to pop some nuts.
Oh, so that's your idea.
Like when you shake the kind of nuts in your hand and you're popping them as you talk, and like those guys are always kind of douchey. Those guys, I think, and I'm like, and I think a Jachi in this moment is kind of a bit of a you know, I won't say the word again, but like just like kind of an annoying, kind of cocky jerk, and so. And so they did. And so luckily, again, testament to the makeup department, there was no green makeup on the peanuts. And I'm assuming the makeup's non-toxic anyway. So we were okay. Yeah.
Now, how long did each of your makeups take? And follow up, I know you're both professional comedians and have a high bar for humor, but let's be honest here. How many It's Not Easy Being Green references were made on set?
I think a lot.
Actually,
you were going to say not a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say I was going to say no. I don't remember hearing that, but like I also have a goldfish memory, so it's quite possible that did happen. The makeup was like at first I think it took about an hour to put on.
Yeah.
But they had kind of sprayed this stuff on our skin before they put on the green makeup. That at the end of the day, with a wipe, it would come off. So at the end of the day, we were out of that makeup in like 15 minutes.
Oh wow!
Like it was super. I couldn't believe it. It was like it was like a commercial, like one of those like Fantastic 409, where like they do like the wipe across the screen, the grime, and it's just like that's how it was. Like they just like across the forehead, and there's my skin again, and it was like super.
That's cool.
I was very impressed with that. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you have that same experience, Rachel?
Well, we that it was very easy to get on, and it did take like an hour and a half. But also, the fun thing that I had that Joe sadly did not get was that I had to have my nails painted like a dingy gray dark color, which actually was really pretty cool. But so
they painted my nails.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. They did.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. We had to be completely matching.
But go ahead.
So that was fun for you that you got that. But what was super fun too that I don't want to forget is the wardrobe department. Getting into our wardrobe, Joe. That was a great day. Greatest. It was the greatest because they told me that I was going to be wearing boots, and I was like, amazing. And it was just like I was wearing like a leotard. You know what I mean? That just zipped up and was so comfortable. Like that was like one of the greatest wardrobe things that I've ever gotten to wear. And it felt so cool because I got to have like, you know, carry a gun and a sword. And it was fun to play a badass. I was like, yeah, I should be a superhero.
I totally agree.
Didn't you think that, Joe?
Bernadette Croft,
was that her name? Right?
Yeah, she's amazing.
That fitting was, for all the reasons Rachel just said, super exciting. One, again, the type of projects Rachel and I are normally asked to do not require and give us the opportunity to wear these fantastical, amazing outfits. Like I looked like a bird, and like the pedal, like
I need to know everything about your costume, Joe.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it was the way, just the kind of the feather, the pedals that I was wearing, which were made of leather, so it wasn't super heavy. The kind of big collar that they had. Then they were kind enough. I'm like, can we get kind of a Han Solo thigh holster, because like I want you to not mess up the kind of featherness here, so I could just. And they were just so accommodating to really creating the perfect costume for Ajachi and Kroll. Like, it was so exciting, and we took about 1 million pictures. I remember, because it was so cool to be in that outfit.
So cool.
Yeah. I can't wait till the episode airs, and then we can share all of the
Oh,
backstage stuff,
I know.
behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
We hear about all these pictures, and then like the day of, we get to see them all appear on social media.
Yeah, and I was going to, now that my phone situation is like the Wi-Fi and everything's fine, I feel like I can think. I wanted to also say something about Ethan and what happened, and I've touched on this briefly in another podcast, but to make a very long story short, the first day I show up to work, I prepared the wrong scene. And it was the opening scene where we take Ethan hostage, and there's so much Trek speak in it, and I flipped out and I thought, I'm going to try to fake it. And then I was like, there's no way I can fake this. And ended up telling Jordan, to her credit, and our first AD, of course, I can't remember his name right now. I believe menopause and
I think
motherhood.
Woody.
Woody,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you so much for that. Woody, amazing. Jordan and Woody immediately were so kind and said, we'll just flip the schedule around. And then Joe sat there and just ran the scene with me while we were getting into the hour and hour and a half of makeup. And then the same thing happened with Ethan. He has to be stoic the whole time. And I'm like getting like, Albert Brooks flop sweat when we started shooting a little bit. And I'm trying not to get too nervous about it. But the more I try, and then Ethan looks at me and goes and says, basically, that was the first time I'd heard him say it. He goes, look, I have to be Spock. I can't even be off camera for you, kind of, and like giving you like hard eyes, like, oh, I'm sorry, this is happening. And he's like, but you're doing a great job. And like, it could have been so awful, but knowing that the worst was that first thing, that they were just such pros, and Jordan just was not an alarmist, and that I was so grateful to know Joe. The little that I knew him, I was like, thank God someone's here that can look at me and go,
we're in the trenches. We're in the trenches together. Yeah, absolutely.
And then he wasn't like, he didn't ever give me once a moment like, I can't fucking believe you did that, or
no, of course. Oh my gosh. I mean, like, can you imagine if like another actor, like, as actors, you already know we're super sensitive people, and I guess some actors are jerks, maybe quite a few, but it's just
very many.
It serves no one to kind of be that harsh. So yeah, I was happy to help, and it did help that we had some history in terms of working together. That's always great. I was very, very relieved when I saw that you were working on the show. You did great. You did great, kid. Under duress, you did great.
But I do have to say that Joe and I, they were so nice to us because they allowed us to improvise too. When it was just like bits between Joe and I, like the scene where we literally first see Pike as a puppet, right? I think we were allowed to improvise in that a lot, and it was really fun to play with that dynamic where the women, the men serve the women in that, and if you're in Horizon, and to really take advantage of that and just treat Hijachi like shit. You know what I mean? Like, it was.
Yes. I asked Rachel, I'm like, I have an idea. What if, Hijachi and Kroll have this kind of almost dominatrix submissive kind of thing. And let's like really lean into that. Like, treat me like garbage. Like, and I love it. And that's where I want to live, you know. And Rachel was cool enough to be like, yeah, that's great, let's go for it. And Jordan
Do
was
it.
very open. Everyone was down with it, so we had a lot of fun really leaning into that.
We heard there's a supercut of these scenes. I really hope it makes it on the DVD
Really?
because it sounds like they
Oh,
made a
yeah?
supercut of. I heard, especially you. I guess they just let the camera run on you reacting to the chaos on the bridge, and she said there's an
Yeah.
amazing supercut of you just improvising stuff to all that.
Oh, I'm so excited. That's so exciting. My high school drama teacher would be so happy because she's always like 99% of acting is reacting. So she's like just
Yeah.
listening and reacting. You're welcome.
That's very
Do,
cool.
do you remember any of those improvs of?
Of reacting to the fights.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it for Troll was just loving it. Like just absolutely like, let's go. Destruction. You know, and she's like,
Like it.
I don't know. But yeah, and I really loved getting to shoot at Ethan. And I really wanted it to be cool. Like I talked to like this, I would like sidebar with the stunt guys that were, I wish that I had the entire crew list in front of me right now because they were amazing. And they were with us all the time and constantly looking at our form and worked so hard. And they were so fun. But I remember saying, I want to shoot. Remember, Joe, when we were like, I was like, do I bring it up? And then how do I make it look cool? Like that completely.
Oh, right.
My total ego. I was just like, I just want to look cool.
Yeah.
I want to be a badass.
Yeah.
And I want this to, and
Yeah.
and good. Okay, good. I'm so glad that my brain is finally working. Joe, how fun was it when so I had people that were like, Akiva's not going to be there. Like, I was like so excited. I was like, oh my God, I could get to work with Akiva. And this person was like, calm down. I'm sure Akiva's got better things to do. He was with us almost the whole time and was taking pictures and sitting there. And I was like,
I know. You're around a legend like that. It was super, super exciting. And I know that I probably, I wasn't, I kind of fanned out because I would go up to him when we first saw the bridge. I was overwhelmed, even not having, being a gigantic Star Trek fan, whether or not you are, if you walk onto that bridge, you're going to feel something. It's impossible not to. It's iconic. And I did. And so I walk on and Akiva happened to be standing next to me. And I was just like, this is just incredible, right? Like I'm asking him if he knows how incredible it is. Yes, he does, Joe. He knows how incredible it is. That's why he's doing the show. And so I was very humbled to be with someone of his stature that is able to bring this franchise back in such an incredible way. And just sitting in the captain's chair, I did that between scenes, and that was super exciting. So it was really truly fun to be involved with him in that respect.
Yeah. I was so nervous I didn't talk to him. Like I just wanted to focus on what I was doing. I think because the first scene was whatever that was wrong. I just wanted to make sure I was ready to go. And then I'm walking by him in the hallway with his assistant, and he does make a comment to me like something like, it isn't easy being green, is it? And I remember
that sounds
he
like
did say something like that, and I had no witty comment back to him except to go, like, I just was so, like it was, I think, it was a big deal for us to get to work on something. He was just as excited about getting to work with the Muppets as we were excited to get to be in this episode of Star Trek plus work with these Muppets and the artists that control them and give them voice, and that was really, really thrilling.
Yeah, you could tell that he really still loved doing what he does and is such a fan. I mean, I don't know him well at all, but I would imagine he's a fan. Like all these people that are very successful at what they do. They're fans of the work they do, and so you
Mm-hmm.
could. That energy was definitely around Akiva and around everyone on that set. And like I was saying, Rachel and I, we don't do shows like this. And when you walk on, you walk on not only bridge but in the corridors, and you're noticing just the set design, and then you're imagining what it looks like, and you're like, oh, I'm rarely in movies like this. I'm in,
Yeah.
I'm in a project that has that incredible, just looks different than the kind of flatter lighting that our comedies that we're normally in is in. And I don't say that to disparage, the camera work in the big
No,
studio comedies, but they look different. They don't
but it's
look
more
like
important.
what you grew up with. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that world, and it makes the world. It's just a different world, and you realize how different you come off. Your performances comes off when you're in a world like that. And getting back, I'll wrap this back to like the stunt work and shooting the guns. Like they're like, you don't just do that. Don't do that. You're not like there's no kickback. There's no kickback on the laser. Just hold it up and fire. And that was something getting used to. And
Yeah.
Rachel and I, after a take, would be like, yeah, did the gun look good? Did we hold the gun right? Did we not move our hands? They're like,
And then
looks
also,
great.
yeah. And then also Jordan, I don't know if you remember this, Joe, but I remember she looks at me and she just very dryly goes, yeah, and we don't need you to make a sound when you shoot the gun. She just without even it was like she had so much to do, and she just was like, okay, let's move camera right over a little bit to the left, and don't make a sound when you shoot the gun, and do this. And I was just I remember it leveled me.
Don't go.
And I was like,
That's amazing.
yeah. I think, if you said, what word would you guys use to describe your experience on Star Trek Strange New Worlds? No, I literally, and I think Joe I would say like just joy. Like we're in awe and so much joy.
No, I would, I second that. Again, it's hard to get the magnitude of the canon of what Star Trek is until you are on that set, and all these symbols are staring right back at you, and the whole world, it's just right there. I remember in the wardrobe there was like a timeline, a chronological time of all the series and where they fall in, and how Strange New Worlds is right before the original series. And I just kind of stared at that for about 20 minutes and just looked at it all, because my very first memory of Star Trek is Star Trek 2, is the movie. And that was the first, I think, Star Trek that I ever saw. And maybe I saw the series when I was 8 or 9. I don't remember. My first thing that I really remember was Star Trek 2, and in particular when the worm goes in the ear, and that's where my Star Trek world began. And just seeing where that fell in the timeline of this chart that I was looking on the wall was exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, so Hijashi gives Spock some relationship advice in this episode, and I'm just wondering, have either of you ever gotten really good advice from a surprising source?
Oh, wow. Other than like an astrology column in the paper.
I mean, if it was good advice.
I was going to say, I've gotten surprisingly good advice. This may be too like precious or whatever, but
Please.
from my 10-year-old son, who Joe's met him, and he has difficulty regulating, and he's
I love him. He's a good guy.
Oh, you're so sweet. He just recently found out that we hadn't shared with him that he has autism and ADHD, and until he was ready. And the way that everybody on his team presented it to him was so amazing. And he said, wow, all the things that I didn't like about me, that I have difficulty with, like being impulsive and stuff like that, also are what make me awesome. And that I
love it.
Smart things about me that make me, that all of that together makes me. And I understand now that I have a specific way of thinking, and that I'm learning to cope with that. And just the way that he said it, I was like, I literally looked at him and I was like, yeah, I know, me too. It's like,
Aw.
and it was so, I mean, like the way that he was explaining it was very profound. And I don't think he didn't realize, what he was saying, that we can all be that inclusive to each other. So you just asked who was the unlikely source. You didn't exactly ask what he said. So,
No, please, yeah.
No, it's,
I think that's sweet. I mean, nothing's immediately coming to mind, but Rachel and you telling that story, like
yeah.
I discovered, got some relationship advice or behavior advice from my son, who said to me, he's 10, and he's like, "Dad, you want me to do an impression of you?" I'm like, "Yeah." And so he walks out of the room.
It's a loaded question.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. He walks out of the room and he comes back in. And he comes back and he just goes, and he just sighs. He just gets this exhausting sigh. And I started cracking up. I'm like, oh my God, you're right. I do that. I come in and I take a deep breath and I'm just like, oh, as if the world is wearing me down. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be aware of that more. I'm gonna come in with a smile and I'm gonna bounce around a little bit. No more big hemming and hawing and sighing.
Kids are an amazing mirror. Sometimes a funhouse
Yes.
mirror, sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my other son, calls me a dumb parent, but that's only when he's really, really mad. And he's got ADHD too.
Yeah, my daughter switches between like, you're the best dad ever to like, I hate you, I want to be adopted. I'm like, well, pick a lane, girlfriend.
Girlfriend.
Well, is there anything else about this episode you can think of that we haven't touched on that's worth bringing up as we wrap up?
Well, I'll just say that, we talked a lot about the makeup and the costume, and I just want to say that I also loved my hair in this
Oh, yes.
episode.
the hair is why it took me a while to recognize you. I was like, oh, that's who he is.
Daniel was amazing, and we really worked at it. We're like, what's right? And we had 3 different wigs working, and as soon as the one that I wear in the episode went on, we're like, that's the one. Because
Nice.
again, it was like this kind of like, again, I want to see like this kind of douchey LA-rocker looking with the hair
It
down.
was amazing.
And I'm like, this is the guy. I think Daniel, I think we got him. And I loved that hair so much that I started to grow my hair longer and did for a while until it never looked as good as that. But I'm like, I'm just going to have it. I love like the whip curl going on. I'm not working. I'm just going to let it grow. And I did. And I loved it. And people were into it. But I just had to mention the hair because it was phenomenal. And I loved putting the wig on every day. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I loved working with Daniel as well. I love that I'm oh yeah, I'm going to one up you, Joe. No. No, but what I wanted to say was that the writers, of course, because I don't have anybody's name, I came really well prepared. But the female writer,
Dana.
Dana, thank you. Dana had a dream of doing a Muppet episode for years. And she said, finally, it happened. And she wore like a Muppet t-shirt almost every day.
Yeah.
And it was emotional. That's also, I think, when we started talking to her about her dream of making this episode and getting the other writers on board to do it, and then actually seeing it become actualized, what came out of her childhood love of the Muppets and that humor. And I did want to just mention that because, it's when you see that it's so important. It's the same thing that everyone is at the top of their game, like those writers and Akiva and Jordan and everybody.
Henry. Yeah.
And Henry, yes, everybody just rose to, they're just working at the top of their game. And so it's very inspiring. I mean, I know Joe and I both have very strong work ethics, but it's really great when the show that you get to guest on, they're running at such a high level,
Yeah.
and it just feels like such an honor and a privilege to get to be a part of that, especially this specific episode too.
For sure. And I'll just add one more plug. And Rachel, I don't know if you're going, but I'm going to be at the Rose City Convention in Portland, a Comic-Con, and I believe, are you going to be there? But I think
I live in
also
Portland.
Anson and Ethan.
Mm-hmm.
I think Anson and Ethan were going to be there, and I was planning to jump by and say hello. I don't know.
Yes.
Are you going to be there, Rachel?
When do you know the date on that? When is the date on
September
that?
12th and 13th. Yeah. Monday.
Okay, well, I'm going to Tampa Bay.
Oh.
And Ethan and Christina are going.
Oh. Lovely.
To Tampa Bay Comic-Con, September 4th through the 6th, and you should go there.
Oh, I will look into it. I will look into that and try to get there.
It would be great if you went, because Ethan's going, and the three of us could
fun.
then.
Oh, that would be super cool.
I will look into it.
And that's September 4th through the 6th.
I love it. Well,
And I'll look into yours.
I love it.
That'd
But
be
guys,
awesome.
this has been really,
But it's
really
so fun.
wonderful.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
thank you for having us. And it was such a pleasure to be part of the show and part of this show, and just be able to give feedback to such an iconic franchise. Absolute honor to be here and on there, for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you both very much.
We were
Yeah.
very excited to see you appear in Star Trek.
Yes.
Two of my my loves coming together, and many of the people in our community have spotted you guys in the previews and been are so excited to see both of you appear.
Awesome.
Well, I would do anything with Joe. I would
Same.
open a food court.
I see a spinoff.
A ribbon cutting ceremony, a food court.
I could do the food court. Let's talk to Akiva about a spinoff. Kroll and Itachi.
No, let's not talk about it. No, spin off. Like a total spin
do
off.
it.
Let's do it. Let's just put it out there. Let's make it happen.